Come on in and discover the new Cox Solutions store. Experience a whole new level of in-home comfort. It's all right here at the Cox Solutions store. Discover, learn, and experience more.
To the Murray Center here on the campus of Rhode Island College in Providence as we get set for the NEPSAC Class AAA Championship game. I'm Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Finkelstein as the number 2 seeded Northfield Mount Hermon Hoggers take on the 4th seeded New Hampton Huskies, coming off a huge upset win over Brewster Academy in the semifinals. Northfield Mount Hermon in the powder blue uniforms. Moving from right to left across your screen against New Hampton in the white uniforms. Shandon Brown taking it down the lane, can't finish, but the put back from his teammate Mike Adams-Woods, able to convert for an early 2-0 lead.
Well, these are two teams that, suffice it to say, do not like each other very much. Northfield came in with championship aspirations, but New Hampton very much this year's Cinderella story, scoring road wins at Bridgeton and then at top-seeded Brewster earlier this week.
Hoggers on the attack early here, unable to convert that time was Noah Kirkwood, and possession going over to New Hampton.
Shandon Brown had a huge game yesterday, number 12 in white. You see him on your screen. George Washington commit went for 30 in that road win at Brewster.
New Hampton enjoying an early 2-0 lead as they work it on the inside. Inside out it goes. Woods now. Shifty little move, lost the handle. Up ahead now, here's Greer. To the rack and in.
Ryan Greer, a guy who has really come alive, especially in the second half of this season for NMH.
Greer 23 points in yesterday's semifinal win over St. Thomas More as the Hoggers coasted to a 90-67 victory. Shandon Brown trying to shake his defender in Kirkwood, lost the handle, got it back. Pass to the corner, and that one off the side of the backboard. Hoggers back the other way with Greer. Ozuski now, inside it goes. Lorca Lloyd. And now back inside, and a quick foul on New Hampton. As getting free on the interior was Nate Lazuski.
Just lost track of Lazuski as he was able to slip to the rim that time. Not a guy you want to allow to get himself in a rhythm at the free throw line.
Lazuski, the 6'10", 205-pound senior out of Jupiter, Florida, a Notre Dame commit. 27 points, 14 boards in yesterday's semifinal win. And 7 points and 11 rebounds in the first meeting. An 80-50 win for the Hoggers.
2 years ago in this very building as just a sophomore, he was the MVP of this tournament. Northfield won the 2016 AAA championship, and this is his 3rd straight year in the finals.
First lead of the day for the Hoggers as Woods leaves it off. Shandon Brown, long-range jumper won't go. Getting to the rebound, though, was late. Scramble for the ball, and they're going to say tied up on the ground. Keenan Fitzmaurice in the bottom of the pile.
Future Stanford forward.
7-footer out of Overland Park, Kansas.
A little bit of a long-term stock. You can see he's got that still skinny build. He's going to have to really develop before he's able to absorb the level of contact you'll see in the Pac-12, but he's got definite upside because of that 7-foot frame and a nice skill set, potential to stretch the floor.
Shandon Brown working against his man, Calvin Whipple. Here's the 3 ball from Fitzmaurice, never made it in. And back the other way now in transition come the Hoggers. Kirkwood has to bring it back out. Harvard commit out of Ottawa, Ontario. Greer leaves it off now for Whipple, and back up top, Lazuski for 3. Just a little bit short. Brand now in transition. Brown down the middle of the floor. Outside, shot is good. Mason Webb hits from downtown.
Well, and the three-point line is going to play a big part in this game. Northfield known for their threes, and yesterday, New Hampton, that's what Helped Cinderella wear that glass slipper yesterday. Was knocking down threes on the road.
A surprising 94-84 victory over Brewster Academy on the road for this New Hampton squad. Coming into this one now at 500 on the season, 16-16 the record here today. Huskies on the interior. Fitzmaurice rejected. And it'll stay with New Hampton. Huskies out of New Hampton, New Hampshire, Northfield, Mount Herman. Out of Mount Herman, Massachusetts. It's Morris trying to get around his man, and there's the hook we've seen all day, but they're actually going to get Max Lorca Lloyd for the foul.
And we should also note, if you've been watching all day, this game a little bit different from a rules standpoint in that AAA plays with college rules, while single A and double A play high school federation rules. So that means you have 20-minute halves. Among other things, the clock's going to stop in the last minute of each half, and it's going to be the exact same rules you see when you're watching a college game.
And they extend that three-point line out to the black line on the court rather than the blue, which we've seen come into play here earlier today. Shandon Brown trying to shake free, leaves it on the outside, but unable to connect that time was Mason Webb. Now quickly the other way comes Kirkwood. Kirkwood down the lane, and there's the hook that we've seen called so often today.
Yeah, and it's become a frequent call at all levels. You just have to, there used to be a time where people used to teach to get that offhand up to protect your dribble, but now if that offhand's up, if you extend it even the slightest bit, it's going to be going the other way.
Brown running the show here for New Hampton. Leaves it across for Adams Woods. Brown now looking inside. Late. Able to connect off the glass. That's Bas Late out of Bergen op Zoom, Netherlands. 6'9" junior. 2 points in yesterday's semifinal win.
He's a young junior too, just in his first year stateside, but a guy with a lot of upside because he's got that big body. He's going to continue to fill out and develop in the coming years, and he's skilled as well.
Kirkwood, little floater, too strong. Rebound goes to Late. Back the other way now. Mika Adams Woods. A little handoff for Webb. And now Brown will reset. Around it goes on the perimeter. Adams Woods now. Fitzmaurice for three, and that one connects from downtown.
Cinderella, she's still dancing. She's up 10-3. Start the game, not what people expected.
New Hampton not at all fazed by taking on the Hoggers, who blew them out by 30 points earlier this season. Nearly turned them over again. Here's Greer trying to penetrate. And they're going to say offensive foul on Ryan Greer.
Yeah, that was a pretty obvious one, the way he extended that right shoulder and elbow.
23 points yesterday, 15 points in the first meeting between these two. New Hampton continuing the roll off that momentum from yesterday's big win. Brown for three, no good. Long rebound to Kirkwood. Hill hot-footed up the floor. Leaves it on the wing. Here's Greer for three, and that one swishes right on through.
Well, that's what Kirkwood does so well. His ability to get downhill and start the break himself. Can play a variety of different positions on the floor, can defend a variety of different positions on the floor, but he is as good at starting the break as there is.
Adams Woods trying to find a sliver of space. Leaves it back for Fitzmaurice. And now for Late. Late off the glass, a little short. Gets it back. And the traveling violation just shuffled the feet a little bit after securing that rebound.
One of the differences you'll see is New Hampton's front line is just generally younger. I mean, Late is a young junior. Fitzmaurice is a true senior, not a post-grad, but a true senior. And so both of these guys, you can tell by the development of their bodies, they're not totally filled out yet, where a lot of these Northfield guys, they're men physically.
Northfield down Herman, though, another turnover. Back the other way comes New Hampton. Brown leaves it into the corner for Webb. Inside they go for Late. Late off the glass with the left hand as he was able to beat Max Lorca Lloyd.
Well, he was able to get deep post position right off the jump there, so it put him in a good spot immediately, and his ability to turn both shoulders and score with both hands in the post, you let him get that deep, going to be hard to stop.
Kirkwood leaves it outside for Greer. Another three ball from the talented junior out of Atlanta.
Well, not a guy who was known for his three-point shooting, and I'll tell you what, when he first arrived here this year, the transition was not necessarily a seamless one, but he's gotten better and better with each passing month and really established himself as a key part of this Northfield rotation.
Greer now with 8 of the 9 Northfield points. Long-range shot won't go. Greer the rebound, tumbling down. Brown able to keep it alive as he gets it into Webb. Adams Woods now will back it out as he gets stared down by Noah Kirkwood. Brown on the perimeter, pulled up the dribble, now leaves it for Webb. Inside, late, trying to shake free, gets it blocked from behind as Lorca Lloyd disrupted that shot.
Yeah, and Nate Leshevsky did a nice job of staying straight up and down. Lorca Lloyd flew into the play.
And another backcourt violation for the Hoggers. Checking in now for Northfield, Chuck Hanna, a senior out of Raynham, Massachusetts. In for New Hampton, DeAndre Dominguez. Recently checked in, Dominguez will fire it in and connect. He's pumped up. And New Hampton out to a 6-point lead.
Didn't take him long to get going. Just checked right in, knocks one down.
Around it goes. Kirkwood looking inside for Hanna. Hanna forces it up. Can't get it to go. Leshevsky. Second attempt blocked by Fitzmaurice. Hoggers keep it alive. Here's Kirkwood. Won't go. Hanna another rebound. Three-pointer. Again, another miss. This time it was Whipple. Rebound to the Huskies. Brown trying to beat Greer to the spot, lost the handle, another turnover, and now here comes Kirkwood.
Again, getting downhill in the open floor.
And the foul on the Huskies. It's a quick transition run that time for Northfield. A little bit choppy start to this game, not as free-flowing as we saw maybe in the first two today.
No, and I think that's to New Hampton's benefit, especially early on. I mean, they don't, as well as they've shot the ball, they do not want this to be a shootout. This gets up near 100, and that's to Northfield's favor. If they can make it more of a grinded-out game and then utilize their shot making with fewer possessions in the overall game, that's going to be to their benefit.
Leshevsky down the lane and one. A nice finish from the big man.
And that's the added versatility in his game. That's not the type of play we saw from him in his first couple of years in an NMH uniform, but we've seen him mix it up a little bit inside. Nice dive there, and tough finish.
Brings his team back within 4. A chance to make it a 3-point game with 11:21 left here in the first half. And he does indeed do that. Hampton now. Work it up. Mika Adams-Woods. Brown. They swing it along the perimeter back to Adams-Woods. Met by Greer, uses a screen from Fitzmaurice and a lot of contact underneath the hoop. It'll be an offensive foul.
Now it's Lazuski taking the charge, continuing to impact the game in different ways to his credit.
Foul going against Mika Adams-Woods. Greer. Kirkwood play catch out high. Now to the corner it goes for Whipple. Kirkwood once again. Skip pass to the far side and an illegal screen set by Leshevsky.
Yep. That was it started with a quick hitter against the zone. As Whipple cut across the middle of the defense, they were trying to screen the outside, and then Lazuski trying to freelance another fade screen, but just got that body while his feet were still in motion.
Adams-Woods and Brown. Kirkwood defensively nearly got the steal.
Well, this is the defensive versatility for Kirkwood to be able to guard the 5'9", 5'10" Shandon Brown.
A lot of contact again, and an offensive foul on Matt Glassman, a senior out of Bedford, New Hampshire.
And a great job by Chuck Hanna beating him to the spot, getting outside the arc, because again, college rules, so now the arc is in play when attempting to take a charge.
Glassman coming off an impressive game yesterday, 23 points in the win over Brewster. Greer getting the offense in motion as Kai Tays now is checked in. Greer from range, left it a little short. Hanna, though, another rebound.
I tell you what, Chuck Hanna is one of my favorite players in New England because he is a guy who does not need to score to impact the game, whether he's taking a charge, hunting down loose balls. I mean, this guy is as tough as they get in the definition of a winner.
Kai Tays able to connect that time for his first points of the day. Brings the Hoggers back within one. Adams Woods. Three-point attempt, well off the mark from Dominguez that time. Oh, boy. Tied up behind
the dirty
the play.
play by Dominguez. A dirty play by Dominguez. Intentional trip.
Again, you mentioned bad blood between these two teams.
And it's because of plays like that.
Absolutely no room for that in the game.
Lucky that wasn't, I'm surprised it's not an intentional foul because that was a deliberate non-basketball play.
I thought they did indicate perhaps an intentional foul, but now a break in the action, not sure. Perhaps the referee is just going to tell the benches to talk things over, or perhaps the officials want to talk over that last play and see if it indeed was intentional. Seemed to be live action that it was.
The initial trip, I think, was non-malicious, but the second one was very clearly his, very clearly dirty.
So here we're going to see it. Keep an eye. The play is going to happen in front of the Northfield Mount Herman bench.
So it's a clean contest, and that's the part. Okay, this is just normal contact within the flow of the game, but watch Dominguez's legs here. You see his left leg?
Oh,
that's very deliberate.
Yep. Yeah, the initial play.
Good call by the officials.
Incidental contact, but when he kind of leg locked Lazewski. So Dominguez picks up his second. Missed though on the first by Lazewski. So past the halfway mark now. New Hampton out to a great start, but Hoggers starting to wrestle control of the game. They will have possession here after.
And a good move by Nick Whitmore too to get Dominguez out of the game. Good teaching opportunity.
On the inside, Chuck Hanna shows he can score.
Well, but he doesn't need to impact the game. So that's a pretty high-low set going through the high post against that zone. But I mean, just watch the way he guards the ball screen there. That's not going to show up in the stat sheet, but part of the reason why he's so valuable.
Basically bonus points when he's able to find a couple buckets here and there. Such an impact player for the Hoggers, and there's a travel violation on Keenan Fitzmaurice. Things starting to unravel a little bit after a good start for New Hampton.
Well, again, this is a young New Hampton team. I mean, right now, Shandon Brown is the only player on the floor who has who's not in his first year at this level. So this is a young, inexperienced team, and that's why they've had some growing pains this year.
Floater that time from Tays doesn't go. Hampton fighting for the rebound and the foul. It's going to be a hold on New Hampton. They're going to charge it to Boss late.
That's why what New Hampton has done over the course of the last week has been so impressive, because it would have been very easy for a team that has gone through those growing pains to pack it in late in the season, but they've done anything but, and I think have really just shown the quality of their collective character here in the last week.
Hanna at the line, misses the front end of a 1-and-1, but a big time rebound by Kirkwood. Tays thought about it, then decided to let it fly, and it winds up working out for him. Kai Tays from downtown. He's got 5. And Northfield now with the lead by 5. Brown, challenged outside by Hannah. Late gets it back to Brown. Already down to 10 on the shot clock, deflected out of bounds by Tays. And it will stay with the Huskies for now. Mika Adams-Woods now over to inbound the ball. Fitzmaurice, long-range J, cans it.
Now imagine Fitzmaurice 40 pounds from now. You've got that touch, he's mobile, but project him out a couple of years, and that's exactly why Stanford took an early commitment from him.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take 1-2. We'll be back with more from the NEPSAC Class AAA Championship here on YurView.
Maddie always she gave it her hardest, and what she wanted everyone else to do was to give it their hardest.
She always put everyone before herself in every situation.
Her personality, it's just Maddie she was born to be a leader.
She lit up every single room when she walked in it, and she just had so much love for everyone in her life.
I think she'd want us to live in the day, and she'd want us to take it one day at a time.
And welcome back to the Murray Center here in Providence on the campus of Rhode Island College. That's the midway point of the first half. Northfield Mount Herman to a 20-17 lead. It was a great start for New Hampton, but you could sort of sense the momentum shifting in favor of the Hoggers over the last 3 or 4 minutes of game time.
Well, you know, truthfully, I think it was the trip that really invigorated that bench. You've seen the entire bench jump up, and I don't think New Hampton has scored since.
Well, and how difficult is it for a team, though, sometimes after you've beaten somebody by 30 or more points to come back and play them again and not just kind of expect to win?
Well, I think that there's the added element of the rivalry between these two teams. The fact that you know that this is a team that is a New Hampton team that is now playing at a much higher level than they were a month ago, and that they come into this game with a ton of confidence.
Yeah, certainly knocking off the #1 seed will help with that confidence as Hannah earns another trip to the line. That one rattles home on the 6'6" senior out of Arena, Mass. Again, not really they're more proficient scorers, but does all those little things to impact the game.
And those little things that really aren't that little when you get into a college program, and all of a sudden it's the guys who can't execute a defensive scouting report, or the guys who don't understand what you're trying to accomplish offensively who are playing, you know, and he's going to transition right into a college role seamlessly.
Kirkwood's three-pointer off the mark as he went tumbling down to the hardwood as he was challenged by Boss late. The foul ends up being charged to Chuck Hannah going for the rebound.
I think the overall tempo of this game, though, is still in New Hampton's favor. As I said earlier, I think the up and down track meet, that was just gonna play right into Northfield's hands. With their depth, their ability to run bodies in and out of this game, the faster tempo is what they're gonna be looking for.
They're able to keep that one in play. Fitzmaurice, as everybody getting a touch on this possession. Skip pass to the far wing, no good from Brown. Tays able to keep it alive for the Hoggers. Kirkwood now leaves it for Hannah, who I don't think was expecting that
yeah,
one.
he put Hannah in a bad spot. You know, you can't drop it to him there, and that's Kirkwood's problem. He gets downhill so well, but the decisions have got to be more reliable, because if you're not able to be a consistent decision maker, you're not going to be allowed to have the luxury to push it in transition at the next level.
Fitzmaurice now. A couple of steps through the lane.
A couple of steps pushed away from the lane as Hannah was able to get underneath of him.
Zuski back outside for Kirkwood. And he'll slow things down. Rotation now for Tays.
New Hampton staying in this zone and very extended with it.
Dropped inside for Kirkwood. Little fadeaway step back, no good. Glassman there for another rebound. Shandon Brown trying to accelerate as Kirkwood works through a screen. Greer now in transition. 3-on-2 if they hurry. To the corner it goes for Tays. Three-pointer, good.
Good job by Tays, spacing all the way to the deep corner in transition.
11 points in the win yesterday in the semifinals. An added punch off the bench today. Adams Woods now. It's Morris for three, no good. Kirkwood. Tays now accelerating. The floater, and drops in.
Tough shot there, the runner. He got some contact on that one too, but Northfield now extending the lead to 9, and that's 10 points for Kai Taus.
Brown. Now Adams Woods. Glassman. Leave it for Fitzmaurice, trying to spin past Hannah. Brown now curling around, met by two blue jerseys. And a double dribble violation. Brown can't believe it, but good pressure there out of the Hoggers defense.
I didn't see that, to be honest.
Yeah, I gotta say I agree with the player in that instance.
He certainly didn't stop his dribble and then start again. Whether or not two hands came at the ball at the same time, if it did, I didn't see it.
Kirkwood nearly turns it over, but is able to get it to Greer. Jumper in the lane is good. And the Hoggers starting to exert their will now, up to an 11-point advantage.
Yeah, they're starting to get into a nice rhythm attacking this zone, so we'll see how much longer New Hampton sticks with it.
Adams Woods now stared down by Chuck Hanna. Nowhere to go for Adams Woods. Outside Glassman, and now Brown back to the inside. Fitzmaurice. Fitzmaurice, little hook shot, rattles home.
You can see the potential, and as I said, you got threes and jump hooks and defensive plays like that. There's a lot of upside to them.
It's a great no-look pass from Tays, but Boss late able to eliminate the offering from Lajewski. And a foul on the other end as well. This one will be charged to Ryan Greer, second foul for him. And checking back in, DeAndre Dominguez, who was pulled after getting tangled up with Lajewski earlier. We'll see how he behaves now, checking back in. Last time he entered, hit a three right away, was quite fired up. Sometimes reining in that energy.
Yeah, learning how to channel it, I think, is the that aggression and figuring out how to channel that in the most appropriate way is one of the hardest things for a young player to figure out.
Also checked in now for the Hoggers, Darius Rock Irvin. Matched up right now against Brown, and they turn it over. Hannah now going one-on-one against Fitzmaurice and lays it in. Took it right at the big man.
And again, you're not going to see him try and make that type of move, but he's got it in him. Full speed dribble, Euro, inside out layup. Big time move from Chuck Hanna.
New Hampton in danger of having this one slip away before the end of the half. Nice penetration that time by Mika Adams Woods to stop some of the bleeding.
Micah able to get to that strong left hand.
Tays the miss, rebound for Dominguez.
Not sure that was the shot Northfield wanted.
Brown trying to dribble out of trouble. Kick out for Dominguez. Three ball is good.
Good spacing to that deep corner. Again, Dominguez knocking down a second three. Cut the lead to just 6. New Hampton won't go away.
Tays swings it over for Irvin. Now back for Tays, and a turnover there is getting a hand on it was Adams Woods. Kirkwood, though, gets it back. Lajewski down through the lane, hit by 3 different players. Pick your poison on the foul.
Nice attack of the closeout there from Lashevsky. Run off the line. Now able to put the ball on the floor, make defenders pay for that.
It's going to be charged to Keenan Fitzmaurice, his first personal. Next foul will have the Hoggers in the double bonus. First one is good. Puts the lead back at 7 now with 3:14 remaining here in half number 1. Hannah will get a well-deserved rest.
I just don't know that there's a pound-for-pound more efficient guy than Chuck Hanna.
Max Lorca Lloyd in to replace Hannah. They're both free throws made. Lead back out to 8 now for the number 2 seed. A little bit of confusion there. Dominguez and Adams Woods. Dominguez now curling around the top of the key. Inside it goes. That one ripped out of the air by Max Lorca Lloyd. Taze inside, and that one rejected as Irvin couldn't quite get the shot off. Taze, another one of those hesitation threes. This time it doesn't go in.
You should never ball fake an open player. Just move the ball.
Winds up being a possession now for New Hampton.
Unless you're an elite shooter who's trying to create some space for the shots yourself, if you've got a guy open in a free ball reversal, you need to take that ball reversal.
Fitzmaurice just kind of lost the handle as he was trying to swing it for Dominguez. Lazewski down the lane, up and in, and one. Power move that time by the talented senior.
Well, I'll tell you what, he may not boast a flashy frame, but the development of his body and physical strength is evident in plays like that. That's not a finish he would have been capable of making a few months ago.
Take another look at that last finish.
And watch the way he's able to absorb this contact and still maintain the balance to convert.
Chance now to extend the lead past 10. And he converts again. 11-point margin once again. Under 2.5 to play here in the first half. NEPSAC Class AAA championship game. Shandon Brown decided why not. Had the smaller player Irvin on him this time and decided to drop it in right over him. Breaking the action, we'll take a timeout as well. With the Hoggers on top. 35-27. We'll be back with more of the NEPSAC Class AAA championship here on YurView. And welcome back to the Murray Center here in Providence. 2:14 left here in the first half. The Hoggers on top by 8 after New Hampton got off to a great start, had the lead at around 6 or 7 points, and slowly though the Hoggers taking over control this game, but New Hampton not quite going away quietly.
No, there is no tomorrow for New Hampton, so they are here to play the entire way, and as I said, that you know, they could have given up on their season a week ago, so they're certainly not going to give up on it now. That would not be true to their character, and that's why this week has really been such a remarkable story.
Here we go now. Irvin leaves it off for Taze. Marks on the perimeter. Taze tried that no-look pass again, this time well read by New Hampton and wound up in the hands of Rex Walters. Brown now. Matched up against Irvin. Last time dropped a 3, trying for it again. This time left it a little short. Adams Woods will back it out and reset the offense under 2 minutes to play.
It's going to be interesting, the progression of Shandon Brown's approach at the next level. He's got the highest level character and intangibles, but he's really more of a scoring guard than a true point at this stage.
Walters getting out of control that time as he tried to feed Dominguez in the corner. Gets called for the offensive foul.
Third charge Northfield has been able to draw, in large part because they've done a nice job of keeping the ball out of the middle of the floor and funneling it along the baseline.
Kirkwood now giving way to Irvin. And around for Taze. Inside Kirkwood. Finds a seam and gets the reverse layup to go.
Big body, again, the versatility of Kirkwood. Put him at the high post and he can make plays.
Adams Woods now. Right down the lane. Fouled on the way in. He'll be shooting 2.
Well, it was the extension of that left arm that enabled him to draw that foul. Adams Woods, not necessarily the most explosive athlete, but he's slippery. That time he was able to get into the paint, use his body to shield off the contact and extend the ball away from it.
Second foul on Max Lorca Lloyd. As Adams Woods shooting 2. First one is good. Brings the margin back down into single digits. Hannah returns alongside Calvin Whipple for the Hoggers. Second one, no good. Easy rebound for Lazewski. And here comes Northfield. Whipple back up top for Taze. Under a minute to play. Brown extending the pressure. Now Whipple leaving it for Hannah. Good look for Lazewski, wide open. Can't hit the 3. Late of the rebound.
Good timing from Northfield, though, as they'll ensure they'll get one more shot at this with 40 seconds to play in the half.
Inside it goes, late, lost the handle. Somehow got it back and slipped through for the bucket.
Just the way they drew it up, but cuts it to 7, they'll take it.
Now about a 2-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock here in the final moments of the first half. Kirkwood pulls it back. Taze now, back for Kirkwood. Brown getting a hand in on the play, down to 3 on the shot clock. Taze trying to find some space, puts it up, won't go. Second attempt by Whipple, won't go either. And I think we're gonna have a foul right here at the buzzer. As Whipple fought hard for that rebound. And it will be a foul on Rex Walters, his second of the half as time expired. So now Whipple a chance to increase the lead from 7 to 9 here with no time left on the clock. Whipple, a senior out of Leominster, Massachusetts. As the officials continue to talk things over. Perhaps trying to figure out to make sure that it happened before time expired, and indeed it did. The 2 shots upcoming now for Calvin Whipple.
And I think Nick Whitmore's point is that if time was expired, then how was he able to get it off? You know, and because it has to be pretty precise. Essentially, the ruling on the floor indicates that they thought that Whitmore got the ball and was able to get it into his shooting motion just as time expired.
Well, in the end, it doesn't matter outside of a foul on Rex Walters as Whipple misses on both free throws, taking us into the break with Northfield Mount Herman leading this one 37-30. We'll be back with more of our halftime show here on YurView. You're watching the NEPSAC Class AAA Championship.
Maddie always she gave it her hardest, and what she wanted everyone else to do was to give it their hardest.
She always put everyone before herself in every situation.
Her personality, it's just she was born to be a leader.
She lit up every single room when she walked in it, and she just had so much love for everyone in her life.
I think she'd want us to live in the day, and she'd want us to take it one day at a time.
YurView celebrates Women's History Month, honoring Mary Maskell. Mary Maskell founded the Women's History Museum of California, one of few museums in the nation focusing on women's contributions in both history and the arts.
She started by collecting historical artifacts, books, clothing, anything that could also be used really as a teaching tool. Mary's aim in starting this organization was to bridge that gap for both students and for adults who didn't have the opportunity to learn as much as they could have about women in history and about their really remarkable contributions.
With exhibits that feature the female spirit, honor the trailblazers, and explore the women's movement, the mission of the museum is to inspire the future by preserving the past.
Our aim is to make sure that we are preserving as many women's stories as possible so that they're available for future generations.
Proudly brought to you by YurView.
And welcome back inside the Murray Center here on the campus of Rhode Island College. We are at the half of the NEPSAC Class AAA championship game. Northfield Mount Herman out to a 37-30 advantage, and a game that's really been disjointed in terms of pace and play and flow.
Yeah, it hasn't been an incredibly smooth first 20 minutes. I think again that's the way that New Hampton wants to play. They're going to have to slow it down, junk it up a little bit. That's why they're playing the zone, but at the same time being extended in the zone to try and account for all of Northfield's shooters.
Absolutely. So time to take a look at some of the highlights now from the first half, and has the Hoggers leading this one by 7.
Well, right off the bat, Chuck Hanna, watch this move he put on. Don't call him a power forward. Euro, tough, crafty layup. It's not going to show up in the stat sheet, but I thought his contributions in the first half were huge with all he did from hedging ball screens to digging out 50-50 balls. This is Nate Leszewski, showing that improved upper body strength and body control to be able to finish through contact. He had a relatively quiet 10 points in the first half. Certainly someone who's capable of getting going here in the second, though.
And early on, it seemed like New Hampton had the advantage. They were riding that wave of momentum after the big win over Brewster Academy yesterday. However, about 8 or 9 minutes into the game, that's when Northfield Mount Herman started to kind of take over, and you could see things sort of shift more their way as they were able to open things up a little bit more.
Well, I don't think there's any denying that Northfield came into this game as the favorite, both because they're the higher seed and also because of what happened when these two teams met each other earlier this year. So I think New Hampton's goal here is to just keep this close and stay within striking distance for as long as they can. And if they can get down the stretch of this game and still have it be a 2 or 3 possession game, I think they'll be satisfied with taking their shot at that point in time.
So time to step aside one more time. We'll be back with more coverage from the NEPSAC Class AAA championship game right here for you on YurView.
Maddie always she gave it her hardest, and what she wanted everyone else to do was to give it their hardest.
She always put everyone before herself in every situation.
Her personality, it's just she was born to be a leader.
She lit up every single room when she walked in it, and she just had so much love for everyone in her life.
I think she'd want us to live in the day, and she'd want us to take it one day at a time.
YurView celebrates Women's History Month, spotlighting the Women's March. Since 2017, millions of women around the globe have marched to bring awareness to a range of important issues.
Women are affected in every marginalized community, every aspect of our society. The most important thing is that people recognize women's rights are human rights.
The Women's March has attracted a diverse group of women, all committed to creating social change.
And these movements allowed a lot of women who wouldn't have spoken up to speak up for the first time and know that they have this voice of a million women behind them, helping them to speak up.
A key goal of the Women's March is to encourage all women to vote.
So it's important for us to now have our voices heard, and voting is the basic way to do it. People are getting a sense of being stronger together. I think in the long run we'll see those effects making a difference in everyone's lives.
This celebration of Women's History Month is proudly brought to you by YurView.
Explore the Southwest lifestyle, the culture, the music, the food, y más. Join hosts J.R. Cardenas and Vanessa Ramirez for a Southwest adventure on Su Vida.
Hey, JR, you know that advice to live in the moment?
Yeah, well, you can forget about that because today we're taking you back to 79 AD.
Why? What happened then?
You're about to find out.
This month on
Sous Vide.
Watch Sous Vide every Sunday and Wednesday only on YurView and YurView.com.
Simmons slamming it down! A three for the game!
You want more of that? We got you. Half season, half price.
Wow, what a finish!
Get access to all the teams.
We gotta see it!
Oh, you just want to watch your team. No sweat.
It's all about us, nope.
Anytime, anywhere. It's that easy. To order NBA League Pass, call 844-371-3529.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health.
I'm Erica Cardenas, and on the Next Your Health, we're headed to the farm at South Mountain. We'll get some easy tips to start a garden and how you can join a community event to learn about heart disease.
Watch Your Health Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night only on YurView or stream it online at YurView.com.
YurView celebrates Women's History Month, honoring Mary Maskell. Mary Maskell founded the Women's History Museum of California, one of few museums in the nation focusing on women's contributions in both history and the arts.
She started by collecting historical artifacts, books, clothing, anything that could also be used really as a teaching tool. Mary's aim in starting this organization was to bridge that gap for both students and for adults who didn't have the opportunity to learn as much as they could have about women in history and about their really remarkable contributions.
With exhibits that feature the female spirit, honor the trailblazers, and explore the women's movement, the mission of the museum is to inspire the future by preserving the past.
Our aim is to make sure that we are preserving as many women's stories as possible so that they're available for future generations.
Proudly brought to you by YurView.
With Cox My Account, you can stay on top of things without having to call. Check statements and pay your bill instantly, so nothing gets by you. Keep an eye on the strength of your Wi-Fi, and fix issues right under your nose by resetting your modem or set-top box. Even check TV listings. Sign into My Account at Cox.com today, so you never miss a thing.
And welcome back to the Murray Center here in Providence. We are at the half, about 4 minutes and change away from start of half number 2. Northfield Mount Herman now to a 37-30 advantage over the upstart Huskies of New Hampton, coming off a big win over Brewster Academy yesterday, a 10-point victory for the number 4 seed. I'm Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Finkelstein. And Adam, something we haven't got to talk about yet for this broadcast is the Upside Podcast.
You want to be on the podcast,
presented by YurView.
You want to be on the podcast.
You know, I don't think about the caliber of a Jim Calhoun, but certainly am a big fan of what you've been doing with that. And I just love the way you've been able to get some inside information, some nice little notes and nuggets from these guys that usually you wouldn't get to in a typical type of interview, but the long form of a podcast certainly opens them up to some different kind of questioning and answers.
It does, and it's been fun, especially the last couple of weeks as I've been able to pick the brain of experts like Micah Shrewsbury and and Tom Crean. I mean, I've been learning stuff myself, so it's been a lot of fun from that standpoint. We've been able to get it out every week, and to be able to have some of my ESPN colleagues, along with the likes of Jim Calhoun and Stu Jackson from the Big East, that was a tremendous one. Gave us a look inside, not just what it's like in the Big East Conference, but also former league in the NBA office. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it certainly, I'm sure, has been a lot of fun and very informative as well. You can check out all those podcasts on YurView.com, as well as Apple Podcasts as well. If you want to hear
SoundCloud, if you don't have you don't have an iPhone,
all your favorite podcast housing sites, I'm sure you could find it there. Once again, that's The Upside with Adam Finkel. So back to this one now. The Hoggers leading this one by 7, and again have dominated at points, but haven't dominated quite as much as they did in the first meeting, which was an absolute blowout, a 30-point victory back on January 20th.
Well, New Hampton, I think, has done a good job against guarding the tempo so far. They're not going to let this get up and down so fast that Northfield's going to be able to run away from them. And they're playing with a lot more confidence than they were a few days ago. And you know, they after what they did yesterday, they came in to this one thinking they could really complete this week and really fulfill a true Cinderella story.
Yeah, really kind of playing with house money, if you will.
No doubt.
Nobody expected New Hampton to be this far in the tournament, and they certainly have earned their way here. Victories over Bridgeton Academy, that one a tight affair, a 3-point victory in the quarterfinals, and of course yesterday's 10-point win over the favorites, Brewster Academy. For Northfield Mount Herman, well, they got a bye in the quarterfinals. They didn't have to play that first game, but certainly came through with a big one yesterday. 90-67 winners over St. Thomas More. And
in a game they were losing at halftime.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they were down 40-36 at the break. Were able to turn things around, flip the script in that one, and came away big-time winners as they earned their spot in this title game here today.
You know, Northfield is a team with great spurt ability, and so what that means is they can catch fire and score in bunches at virtually any given point. And while they're capable of doing that from behind the three-point line, like some Northfield teams we've seen in the past, they can also do it in different ways. They've got a lot of collective size. When you've got Noah Kirkwood, who's basically like a 6-7 point forward type, who's on the wing for you, gives you a lot of flexibility in the way you can construct your lineups.
Yeah, we've certainly seen that come into play. Size disrupting multiple shots put up by New Hampton in that first half, and New Hampton, they've got to find a way to keep their cool as well. We saw a little bit of a scuffle earlier between Dominguez and
you know, I think they've done a good, that was an isolated incident. I think to everyone's, and it was dealt with appropriately. You know, Dominguez made a mistake. He got subbed out of the game. I think he learned his lesson. So, you know, for the most part, it was a very clean, you know, first half and well executed. Again, I think New Hampton accomplished what they wanted, is to control the tempo of the game, try and frustrate them in this zone and slow it down as much as they can.
Greer now works it for Kirkwood, around for Whipple. Lorca Lloyd, a little runner that time, will drop in for the 6'9" junior out of Brooklyn, New York.
Lorca Lloyd initiating that contact with Fitzmaurice and able to drive him back.
Fitzmaurice now leaving it for Shandon Brown, a commit for George Washington University. From the outside, Adams Woods left it short on the side of the rim. Greer now the other way, right down the middle of the floor, has Whipple in transition. Knocked away by Adams Woods, but Greer gets it back. To the corner it goes, Leszewski for three! And he connects from downtown.
A nice extra pass that time from Northfield, hitting Leszewski in the corner. That is his favorite spot. He's been spotting up in those corners for years.
Shandon Brown now. His team down by 12, and you got to figure that the opening minutes here, New Hampton can't afford to let the Hoggers start off with a big run to open this second half.
Well, given what Northfield did in the second half yesterday, I think you have to guard against a big run, and that's why that is such an important shot from Mason Webb, and another reason why Nick Whitmore going to stop the game right away, break any momentum, not allow this one to start going up and down too quickly.
Mason Webb, the 6'4" senior out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, able to dial it up from long range that time. Pure looking stroke and a pretty good look from range as he was able to take advantage of the situation.
Well, you know, he's done that all season long, but arguably New Hampton's most consistent player. Just a very smart guy. He's got a high release. Get another look at it here. A little ball screen action. Shandon Brown coming off. pinches in that defender, and Charles Whipple sucks in on that drive, and on time, on target pass. It's a line from Tom Crean in the podcast. And Mason Webb knocks it down. You know what, that scenario is actually one that Tom Crean spoke specifically about in the podcast, believe it or not.
Well, maybe New Hampton listening, who knows?
Yeah, I doubt it.
Back the other way now, Kirkwood. Right into a double team, but leaves it off for Greer. He'll back it out. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Whipple, Greer. And they go inside for Kirkwood. Had Fitzmaurice in the air. Greer now for 3. Won't drop. Fitzmaurice, the easy rebound, and now Shandon Brown brings it back the other way. Using a high screen, now working against Leshevsky. In amongst the trees, the kick out now for Fitzmaurice. Nearly shuffled the feet a couple of times and was able to pivot well. Adams Woods redirected by Leshevsky, and Whipple fighting for it with late.
Good hustle there by both teams.
Jump ball called, possession arrow favoring the Huskies of New Hampton. And it does not reset the shot clock, so just 7 seconds now for New Hampton. And an offensive foul. They're going to get Boss late. That'll be his 3rd personal.
And that's a big one because they don't have the front court depth to be able to withstand any of those front court guys getting in foul trouble.
Yeah, they only have 12 players here. Northfield with about twice as many, it seems like, looking at their bench. Greer left it for Lorca Lloyd, and a traveling violation.
Both coaches working the officials hard right now.
Well, realizing just 17:42 left here in the championship game. Might as well try to get any advantage you can. Shandon Brown now. And he'll be met by Kirkwood. Adams Woods now. Trying to split a pair of hoggers. Inside it goes, Fitzmaurice. Able to slide it over to Adams Woods with the finish.
Nice cut off the ball by Micah Adams Woods. He's had a very nice junior year. His first year in the prep ranks from upstate New York. The long lefty guard has really bought into playing in structure and improved his overall floor game quite a bit.
Kirkwood looked off Whipple and then couldn't quite convert, and a goaltending violation now on Leshevsky. Is
half a second more, it would have been off the rim. But instead, Northfield hanging around. I'm sorry, New Hampton hanging around, just 7 right now.
Yeah, slowly chipping away. Again, they've trailed by double digits on multiple occasions here tonight.
But their patience on the offensive end has not allowed Northfield to get any run-out opportunities. So we've seen that a couple times today. Teams that settle for tough shots offensively, that helps fuel the opposition's transition break. Like right here, this is the kind of thing that we haven't seen from New Hampton.
Yeah, Greer finding an extra gear that time as he blew past Shandon Brown, who it looked like was trying to foul him.
He definitely was, yeah.
But just couldn't get a hold of the shifty guard out of Atlanta.
Definitely trying to give the foul and save that layup.
Late, leaves it off for Brown and quickly met by Kirkwood and Leshevsky. Spun it around for Fitzmaurice, and now coming across is Webb. Through the trees, Webb goes and delivers again.
Well, again, just the efficiency of Webb. We've noted him as a spot-up shooter. That time comes off the ball screen, sees an opening in the defense, able to take it all the way to the rim.
Ryan Greer getting Leshevsky in motion. Whipple now comes out to meet him. Brown had a hand on it. Kirkwood, I'm guessing looking for the lob that time, trying to connect with Lorca Lloyd, but airmailed it.
And Northfield's been able to get Kirkwood the ball at that high post area, just hasn't been able to generate many good scoring opportunities once he gets those touches.
Still remains a 7-point game with 15.5 to play in the second half. Shandon Brown over for Adams Woods. As late Long-range jumper won't go. Greer, tough rebound, out muscling Fitzmaurice. Whipple now in transition for three. Won't go, but what an acrobatic play by Noah Kirkwood.
Yeah, big time play, showing his strength and athleticism. That shot from Whipple was a tough look to go from full speed. Hopped nicely to try and get his balance, but that is still a really hard shot.
I think Kirkwood flying out of almost nowhere.
Yeah.
And an offensive foul is trying to set a screen. LaShandon Brown took out Kirkwood. Here's another look at that last play by Kirkwood.
And see, no one checked Noah Kirkwood there. You see Shannon Brown didn't body up at all. Fitzmaurice was late into the play, but a terrific finish from Kirkwood.
The lead out to 9 points now.
Opportunity time right now for Northfield. It's at 9. The momentum, can feel it starting to shift a little bit. Now they've made a little bit of a tweak, putting Leshevsky in the high post.
Inside, outside, three ball won't drop. Lorca Lloyd fouled while going for the rebound.
And I like that adjustment because Kirkwood had not been all that productive in the high post. Leshevsky doesn't have maybe the playmaking potential as Kirkwood does, but you know you're going to get very reliable decisions. And so that time, very simple, collapse the defense, kick it out, get an open three.
And that is the fourth personal foul on Mason Webb. He'll have to take a seat on the bench. They get it into Whipple, rejected by Late. Transition now 3-on-1 if they hurry. Shandon Brown leaves it back for Dominguez. And a late foul called on the Hoggers, much to their dismay.
Well, it was late, and it was from the guy on the opposite side of the floor, so.
Yeah, they charged it to Calvin Whipple. Tough sequence there, but it will put Dominguez at the line. We'll take another look here.
Well, here's the point. God, that was late. You know, whether or not it's a foul, I don't know. But the point being is that the official had the exact same angle that we did. So, and as you saw on the replay, it was about 2 seconds after it happened. So, I think that's why John Carroll upset.
Yeah, Carroll having a spirited conversation with the official on the far side.
Never one to hold back from communicating his feelings.
Member of the New England Basketball Hall of Fame class of 2015 is Coach Carroll. Whipple can't buy one today. Still has the goose egg. And back the other way now, Adams Woods.
Nice.
Leaves it for Dominguez. Doesn't finish, but heads back to the line and a chance to make it a 6-point game. If he could hit both free throws.
Good misdirection from Adams Woods. Just a little gear change right around the nail, able to get the defender to bite, open up that passing lane to Dominguez.
On the other end, Whipple's had some good looks today, but just hasn't been able to convert so far.
He's always been a little bit of a streaky shooter, but the thing about Whipple is that, excuse me, when he gets going, he's gonna all of a sudden, I mean, he may miss 4 or 5 in a row, but he can make 4 or 5 in a row too.
All right, now Coach Carroll's gonna take him out, give him a rest, bring Kai Tays back into the game as Dominguez splits the free throws. 7-point game with 14 left and change here at the Murray Center. Third game of our triple header here on YurView.
And again, that extended zone, falling back into the quarter court. That's a better pass from Kirkwood.
An emphatic jam that time. Max Lorca Lloyd throwing it down.
See, it was a quick decision that time from Kirkwood, just immediate touch pass. And he is a big time passer. His problem is oftentimes when there's no quick read available and he goes into freelance mode, what happens?
Again, that's that decision-making process you've been speaking about. Fitzmaurice deciding to light it up from the outside.
And again, I'm going to say it again. Imagine him with 40 more pounds on him. 7-footer, moves pretty well. Got to get the release up a little higher, but he can definitely stretch the floor.
And last touch by the Hoggers. It'll go over to New Hampton. They are feeling it. Fitzmaurice, both hands raised. Again, credit the Huskies, not going away again. Just when you felt the momentum, squarely in favor of the Hoggers, back come the Huskies again.
And very much indicative of what we've seen from them all week long.
That time the runner won't go.
That's the type of quick shot, though, that they have not settled for. They cannot get sucked into those quick decisions because Northfield wants this to be a track meet. New Hampton has kept it close because they've dictated tempo.
Greer and Tay continue to play catch. Reverse layup won't go that time for Kirkwood.
See what I mean, though? Even though he missed that, when it's a quick instinctual read, he's very, very good. When that read doesn't present itself and he's got to try and freelance and create opportunities, that's when there's becomes a little bit more of a wild card.
Tough turnover that time for the Huskies, and grabbing the jersey was Shandon Brown, picking up his second personal. Tays now. It's the offense going with Greer. Inside for Kirkwood. Tays thought about the three. Now dropping it in for Lorca Lloyd, and an offensive foul. And they're going to get Tays for his first personal there. Glassman checks out.
Just a two-possession game here, and a lot of time. Still 12 and a half on the clock.
Yeah, Northfield Mount Herman just simply unable to really pull away here. Adams Woods, scoop shot won't go. Lorca Lloyd tips it to himself, and now Kirkwood in transition. Back for Tays. Leshevsky now from the corner. Lorca Lloyd to follow. And the third attempt draws a foul against DeAndre Dominguez.
Well, that's the way Northfield wants to play. Get the ball up the floor quickly, space it with shooters, then get your big man running right down the pipe.
So Max Lorca Lloyd now, a chance with 2 free throws upcoming. Little hesitation stroke that time, but drops it in. Second one, short. Very odd release there from Lorca Lloyd. Dominguez spots up for 3. It won't fall. Tays the rebound. Pushes it up ahead. Leshevsky rejected by Dominguez and knocked out of bounds by Lorca Lloyd.
I'm going to say something similar to what I said in the last game is the longer this game goes, the longer that New Hampton is able to stay within striking distance, the more confidence they will continue to accumulate.
You got to feel that most of the pressure squarely on the Hoggers coming into this one. They are expected by many to win this game, especially after the 30-point blowout they had over New Hampton earlier this season. But New Hampton doing what they've done all tournament long. Fighting their way through, and Dominguez down the lane, the left-handed jam. Leshevsky the other way and draws some contact. It's going to go against Keenan Fitzmaurice.
So a big time, and there's DeAndre Dominguez in a nutshell. Watch this play here. Incredible talent, but then watch the pose. Well, when you're posing, they're running right by you. So it's natural talent, which just needs to continue to mature in order to really discover that upside.
Leshevsky able to drop in the first of 2. And makes good on both. So the lead back to 7. Micah Adams Woods. Leaving it now for Dominguez. Tries to lower that shoulder to get around Kirkwood. Spin move in the lane. Tough release that time, off balance, and back to the way now Tays. Greer trying to sneak in the lane and gets it to go.
Tough shot there by Greer. They didn't have great spacing in transition. All 3 players were on that left side of the floor, but Greer still able to attack that closeout.
And a whistle by the whistle for an apparent shoelace issue.
Those are
for
some long
Keenan Fitzmaurice.
Good Lord, those hockey skates?
I think they would work for hockey skates for sure.
Is that a triple knot? They're giving this way too much attention, but that is fascinating stuff.
And a tuck on the sides.
Yeah. Not to mention they're different color laces, but I think I've said all I need to say about that.
Fitzmaurice barreling through the lane, and Leshevsky has to take one on the chin that time.
Very literally. Yeah. That's the 4th charge that NMH has drawn today, though.
That is also the 3rd foul on Keenan Fitzmaurice. You mentioned how this New Hampton team not as deep as Northfield. Fouls piling up for multiple players now. Fitzmaurice 3, Dominguez 3, Webb 4, and Late 3. See how that plays into the equation down the stretch.
And especially along the front line.
We'll see how the Hoggers attack New Hampton on this possession. Perhaps trying to get that fourth on either Late or Fitzmaurice. Long range J will fall that time for Leshevsky. But quickly on the other end, Adams Woods. And a timeout will be called by Nick Whitmore to talk things over. Brings us to a break in the action just past the midway point. We'll take 1-2 with Northfield Mount Herman on top. 53-48. We'll be back with more here on YurView.
Maddie always she gave it her hardest, and what she wanted everyone else to do was to give it their hardest.
She always put everyone before herself in every situation.
Her personality, it's just she was born to be a leader.
She lit up every single room when she walked in it, and she just had so much love for everyone in her life.
I think she'd want us to live in the day, and she'd want us to take it one day at a time.
And welcome back to the Murray Center. 9:57 left here in the second half. The Hoggers, the 2 seed, with a 9-point advantage over the 4-seeded Huskies. And it'll be Northfield ball as we continue along here. Kai Tays delivers it over for Kirkwood. Met by Brown, and now Tays gets it back.
You should note the scoreboard here. Rhode Island College a little late out of that timeout. It's 55-46 right now in Northfield's favor.
Lorca Lloyd scrambling for that rebound, but just couldn't get a handle on it off the miss from Kirkwood. Shandon Brown with an intense look on his face will work it up the floor.
Oh, Shandon Brown's a competitor. There's no denying that. I mean, he is a tough kid.
Three-pointer, no good from Adams Woods. Kirkwood the rebound, and now Tays will race it up the floor. Leshevsky for 3, and couldn't get it. Lorca Lloyd the rebound, but tied up by Adams Woods. Possession arrow says New Hampton ball.
Nick Whitmore animated with his guys. Box somebody out, he's saying.
Well, I think they were wondering if there was a possession change on a jump ball earlier that did not switch the arrow. Right now it does favor New Hampton. And indeed it will be New Hampton ball. Huskies down by 9, but they keep saying they're hanging around, but at some point they need to make their move.
You know, I mean, I think they just need to keep hanging around, to be honest. I think if they can stay with, make it a 2 or 3 possession game, with about 3 or 4 left in the game, give Northfield a chance to get tight, give yourself a chance to make a big play. Their momentum is going to continue to build just by staying close.
So Late was able to make it a 7-point game. Tays now.
Wow.
Looking for the alley-oop with Lorca Lloyd, and
it didn't go, but how about the hang time there of Lorca Lloyd?
Tried that play a couple of times now, and they just haven't got it to work. And one more time, New Hampton. Chance to make it a 5, perhaps 4-point game. Adams Woods leaving it for Late off the glass, and got halfway down before it spun out.
Tough break that time for New Hampton.
Kirkwood pulls it back. Tays now rotates it for Greer. Leshevsky now and back for Greer as they cycle it around the perimeter. Adams Woods out the challenge. Tays now in for Kirkwood. Tays wide open look for 3. Long rebound, but into the hands of Mason Webb. Webb trying to turn on the Jets, but Greer doing a nice job of getting back.
Nice movement there from New Hampton.
Inside it goes to Late, who's been camped out in the lane. Shot rejected by Lorca Lloyd. Kirkwood all the way to the rim. Just couldn't finish.
No, tough break for Northfield.
Tipped up ahead for Adams Woods.
But this is Northfield's tempo, though. New Hampton's got to be very, very careful right now.
So no change in the score, but end-to-end action here at the Murray Center. And now Keenan Fitzmaurice will return to the fray. And that'll give Boss Late a little bit of a rest. As again, multiple players in some foul trouble for New Hampton. And it comes for Brown. Fresh 30 seconds. Dominguez trying to get around Taze. Now Shandon Brown. Dominguez spots up for three. Cans it.
Now it's just down to 4. And see, this is what I mean. The closer it gets, the later it gets, the more their excitement and confidence is going to build, the more potential it is for Northfield to get a little tight.
Yeah, you would think the pressure would just keep increasing on the Hoggers. Taze and Greer. And this time a little bit of a hand check on Micah Adams Woods. That'll be his second personal. It'll be a 1-and-1 situation now for Ryan Greer. Now Chuck Hanna, who definitely made his presence felt in the first half, returns to action.
Tough hand check call. Right at the moment they're making their run.
Well, especially because we really haven't seen that call at all today.
Exactly. You could call, and you know, it's one of those things where college rules, but you need officials with prep school experience, because there is a level of contact in prep school that is going to exceed what you see in the current college game, given the freedom of movement calls of the last few years. So it really is that fine line.
Tough balance sometimes for the officials. Well, we'll see how the Huskies respond here, down by 5. Adams Woods pulls it out for Webb. And there's a similar call. Little hand check that time on Leshevsky.
Yeah, and you probably have to make that one after you call it at the other end. I just think it's a bad precedent to go, 34 minutes without calling that and then start to change it up down the stretch.
Right. It's different if you call it in the opening minutes of the game, let the teams adjust to what's going to be called.
One of the things you see frequently is officials who call it a little tighter in the opening minutes to establish just some basic ground rules and then loosen it up as the game goes on.
Fitzmaurice swings it to the corner, back outside now Dominguez, Shandon Brown, and that's going to be a travel. And you can see it started to make that move as the defender was sliding up towards him.
And that's another one of those calls. It's a lot like the hook. That's become a very popular travel call. Was it a travel? I don't know if the ball hit the floor first or his pivot foot came up. My eyes don't work that fast, but I know that is often called a foul now.
Now Kirkwood being defended by Brown. Deliberate set here for the Hoggers. Leads to a three-point attempt from Leshevsky. Won't go. Dominguez the rebound. Quickly ahead now. Shandon Brown. Dominguez for three.
It's a big one.
Won't go, and Greer fortunate to come down with the rebound that time.
Leshevsky not shooting it at the normal clip he typically does. Ball's been just a little flat tonight. Something that it's been a theme today. Remember, both these teams played yesterday. Importance of having fresh legs, getting air under your ball as a shooter.
Greer. Jumper won't go. Leshevsky the rebound and the finish.
That's what he's done a really good job of. And again, when he was younger, he wasn't able to impact the game when not making shots. So it shows a maturity on his end to say, okay, you know what? I'm not shooting the three as well as I typically do, but not only am I gonna be able to impact the game, but I'm gonna find ways to score without dominating the ball.
Well, I think being saddled with 4 fouls, Mason Webb not as aggressive as he was earlier in the game defensively there. He'll take a seat for now with Late back in. Dominguez for three, left it short. Greer another rebound.
Second time Shandon Brown has been able to do that. Come off a ball screen, freeze the help side defender, and create an open three in rhythm on the opposite wing. 7-point
game now, under 5 minutes to play. Taze Splits through the D and a little too hot to handle for Hannah. Tays a little bit too much speed through the lane that time. And now Shandon Brown will work it up the floor. Stared down by Tays, and around it goes for Adams Woods. Adams Woods sealed off on the baseline, but they get it back out to Dominguez. Running through traffic, got off the shot, won't go, but did draw a foul. Looks like they're going to get Leshevsky for the blocking foul. And that'll be his third personal. As he really becomes the first Hogger in any kind of foul trouble.
Dominguez now a chance to go to the free throw line, make it a two-possession game again. You can see his tools. Obviously, he's got a couple of threes, had that big dunk. You see the soft, natural touch there. Just getting a chance to be developed here for New Hampton.
Dominguez now with 14 points for the game. Make it 15.
Yeah, having a good night. That's when you get excited about a player, when you say, you know what, he's already making his presence felt, and yet there's still so much room left to improve.
And only a sophomore out of Providence. Playing here at home. Kirkwood shot won't go, and a key rebound for Dominguez. Now things getting more and more interesting down the stretch. Adams Woods.
This is exactly where New Hampton wanted to be, just to give themselves a chance late.
Micah Adams Woods challenged there by Leshevsky and Greer. Handoff for late, had it stripped away. And they're going to say last touch by New Hampton. Nick Whitmore can't believe it.
What a turn of events. That looked like a wide open dunk. Would have made it a one-possession game, and instead Northfield keeps the ball in the 5-point lead.
Yeah, I believe it was Kai Tays that slid over and deflected that ball at the last second and managed to get it off of late as well. Greer, Tays now down to 5 on the shot clock. Greer has it stripped away. Shandon Brown takes it coast to coast.
We got a one-possession game, 3 minutes left, exactly where New Hampton wanted to be. He said it in the beginning of the game, if this got up towards 100, that was going to be towards Northfield's liking. Instead, we're in the 50s with 3 minutes to go.
Kirkwood, the turnaround jumper, a much-needed hoop for the Hoggers.
A terrific answer from Kirkwood, big shot, but this New Hampton bench is still alive.
Shandon Brown able to draw some contact with Chuck Hanna. Hanna not able to slide over in time.
Well, Brown does that very well. He initiates and then sells the contact. And
that'll be the second foul on Chuck Hanna.
It's a 6th-team foul, so New Hampton will be shooting free throws on anything after this point.
Adams Woods. Now Brown down to 10 on the shot clock. And an offensive foul. It's going to be charged to Boss late, his 4th. Illegal screen that time. What was a key possession there for New Hampton.
A couple of just unlucky breaks for New Hampton, beginning on the couple possessions ago where it looked like they had that easy layup and then the illegal screen there. So, but just continuing to stay the course here. They need a stop here.
Northfield trying to grind out the rest of this one. Holding on to the 5-point lead. Kirk off the glass, doesn't go. Late the rebound. Stolen away by Tays. Great anticipation that time out of Kai Tays.
And Northfield going to play time and score now. Going to be content to get pretty deep in the shot clock. That middle of the zone is wide, wide open.
Next New Hampton foul will also put the Hoggers in the double bonus. Bullet pass and a touch pass. Kirkwood to Hanna.
Again, those quick instinct plays, that's where Kirkwood is so good. None better than that so far tonight.
Adams Woods, runner won't go. Leshevsky the rebound, down to 1:20.
Now New Hampton's to the point where maybe they have to start to press a little bit. And there you see starting to scramble out of the zone.
Kirkwood lost the handle, got it back. Being chased by Dominguez. Greer now as we approach 1 minute left. Hannah on the inside again as Shandon Brown trying to sell some contact. And timeout called. Apparently, we'll see who they're going to get a timeout on. I think maybe a bench warning as well. Well, we're going to take a break real quick. We'll be back. The final 54 seconds. Championship game here on YurView. Things getting tense here at the Murray Center. A 9-point advantage for the Hoggers. They had to fix an issue with the clock, as Adam had alluded to earlier on. College rules, clock must stop after a made basket in the final minute of play. It did not, so they added about 2 seconds back to the clock here. We are in the final minute. Shandon Brown and the upset-minded Huskies running out of time. Adams Woods through the contact, but couldn't get it to drop for the N1, but will head to the line shooting 2.
We'll give Northfield credit. New Hampton cut it to a 1-point game, and they have since responded with a 6-0 run up until that foul. But good chance now. Anything New Hampton can do to stop the clock and get points at the free throw line here, they're going to welcome. Expect them to extend their defense here, try and do something to force a turnover, whether it's deny the ball in bounds or throw a quick trap.
Second one from Adams Woods is good. Matt Glassman checks in. Placing Mason Webb, who has the 4 personals. Perhaps if they're going to foul, they'd rather have Glassman out there with just the 1. Taze got himself in trouble. What a foul on New Hampton's Shandon Brown.
Yeah, he was reaching in, and he got some of the ball there, too. I think he was going for a jump ball, which was a smart play, but apparently the call on the floor, he just got a little too much ball. But that's the type of risk that you want to take at this point in the game. Want to do something to stop the clock, send him to the free throw line, but in so doing, give yourself an opportunity to force a turnover.
Kai Taze hits on the first. Pushing the margin back to 8. 3-possession game here with 44.8 seconds remaining. Taze perfect on the second one as well. The lead back to 9. Brown.
Got to score quickly now.
Met by Hannah. Slips it to Adams Woods. Brown thought about 3, but just couldn't release. Runner no good. Leshevsky the rebound, and he's almost tackled by Late. Late's day will be done. That's his 5th. And Leshevsky, an opportunity at the line to put this one back into double digits.
And again, Leshevsky, who hasn't shot the ball quite as well as he normally does, but doing a nice job on the glass. His finish plays around the rim, impacting the game in other ways.
So, pass Late checks out for the final time today. Keenan Fitzmaurice returns to action. Just 31.1 seconds now, separating the Hoggers from the title. After the initial miss, second one from Leshevsky is good. 10-point game. Adams Woods off the glass, no good. Hannah absolutely ripping down that rebound. And we'll head to the line shooting 2, and looks to be all but over now for the Huskies. Goes against Fitzmaurice. That's his 4th.
Northfield on the verge of a championship. There's not much excitement on that bench.
They're just trying to contain themselves right now.
Apparently.
Anna connects on the first. This one will make it a 12-point margin if he hits. Stays at 11. Brown now. And the Hoggers want to do anything but foul here. A lot of time to get a shot off. Adams Woods converts down low, but simply a matter of too little, too late. Even though New Hampton will call timeout, but not too many 9-point plays out there.
No, there's not, and I think you know, now is the time. Northfield's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, their 2nd NEPSAC AAA championship in the last 3 years, and 3rd straight trip to the final. So it wasn't always pretty, but give them credit for persevering. A New Hampton team that was riding a huge wave of momentum, playing with a lot of confidence, and by that same token, give New Hampton a lot of credit for the way they responded in the postseason. The young team has grown a lot during the course of the year, and they showed that this week.
Yeah, I mean, they were under 500 coming into the tournament. With the 2 wins, got themselves to 16 and 16. Knocking off Brewster Academy, something no one saw coming, but falling just a little bit short here today against Northfield. Tays, as Northfield looking to just run out the final 5 seconds, and that'll do it. Another NEPSAC Class AAA championship for Northfield Mount Herman. And that's it. As I think the official...
There's the happiness.
Official was waiting to see. Maybe they thought they came onto the court too early, but doesn't matter. As Northfield Mount Herman takes the title 68-59 over New Hampton. They did what they had to do. It wasn't pretty at all times, but in the end, they came out with the W.
And that's the key. You're going to be a championship team. You've got to be able to win your way and win when the other win ugly at times too. And that's what they did tonight. 2nd championship in the last 3 years.
So we're going to step aside for just a few moments. When we return, Adam will be standing by with the Northfield coach, John Carroll, and our player of the game. That's coming up next right here on YurView.
Maddie always she gave it her hardest, and what she wanted everyone else to do was to give it their hardest.
She always put everyone before herself in every situation.
Her personality, it's just she was born to be a leader.
She lit up every single room when she walked in it, and she just had so much love for everyone in her life.
I think she'd want us to live in the day, and she'd want us to take it one day at a time.
With Cox My Account, you can stay on top of things without having to call. Check statements and pay your bill instantly, so nothing gets by you. Keep an eye on the strength of your Wi-Fi, and fix issues right under your nose by resetting your modem or set-top box. Even check TV listings. Sign into My Account at Cox.com today, so you never miss a thing.
And welcome back to the Murray Center. There's a shot of the champions. Northfield Mount Herman Hoggers claiming the NEPSAC Class AAA Championship trophy here today. They're knocking off the 4th-seeded New Hampton Huskies 68-59 to cap off our triple header of action here on YurView. Nate Leshevsky, bound for Notre Dame, coming through for his team with 20 points here this afternoon. Ryan Greer, the junior out of Atlanta, able to pour in 15 points as well. What was a tight affair throughout. Both teams fighting to the end, but the Hoggers able to pull through in the final minutes, hitting their free throws down the stretch and coming up with a couple of key defensive stops as well. Nate Leshevsky named the MVP of the tournament, and rightfully so, dominating both on the perimeter and on the inside. Happy to be holding that championship trophy, and it's time to send it down to Adam Finkelstein, who's standing by with MVP Nate Leshevsky and head coach John Carroll.
All right, we're here with Northfield Mount Herman head coach John Carroll and MVP Nate Leshevsky. John, I know your teams tend to go in cycles. Last year was a relatively young team, a lot of seniors on this year's team. Talk about the progression to this point, please.
Yeah, we were talking about before the game, we had guys raise their hand and how many guys have played in the New England Championship or won a New England Championship, and most of the guys did. So by the time they got here, this is a practice for them. We played in 4 out of the last 5 national New England championships. So I think the experience really played a role when it was, New Hampton was putting pressure on us and we got tight. The seniors really took over, and I think they were composed.
And Nate, you were here, well, you've been here the last 2 years. 2 years ago as a sophomore, you won the MVP here, but it was a much different type of game. You got hot with your jumper. Today, didn't make shots at your normal clip, but you were able to impact the game in a lot of different ways, which I think speaks to your progression and maturity over the years. Talk to me about how far you've come in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, you said it. 2 years ago it was mainly my jump shot from three-point land, but it wasn't fun today. But I just got to stay aggressive, try to stay active in the game, and help my team. So
you may actually be 6'10".
I think so. Yeah.
Well, guys, I'll let you get back there, celebrate with your teammates. Congratulations, Northfield Mount Herman, the 2nd AAA championship in the last 3 years.
And thank you, Adam. That was Adam Finkelstein with head coach John Carroll and MVP Nate Leshevsky of the Northfield Mount Herman Hoggers. So that'll pretty much do it for us here at the Murray Center. Northfield Mount Herman taking down New Hampton 68-59. Glad you could join us all afternoon. For Adam Finkelstein and our entire crew here in Providence, I'm Mike Mancuso saying thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.